Hey, what's up? Today I'm out in the garage and I'll be swapping out my current set of handlebars for a new set. Let me show you what I got. I'll be installing these 12-inch rise handlebars from Vindikta. The name of them, I believe, are called Hoopteeze. They come in gloss black, which I have here. They also call them in chrome, and it should give me a little bit more of a T-bar feel without actually going to a T-bar setup. So it's a little bit more, well, actually a little bit less expensive than a normal T-bar setup would be. This is what I currently have on a bike as of right now. These are Harley Davidson 10-inch rise fused low handlebars in gloss black. I had these bars on the bike since I first got it back in 21, so I put about 8,000 miles on them. So as you can see, I got the bike up on the jack. I just got it up on the first notch just so I can turn the handlebars if need be. Just getting inside there. So first thing I gotta do, I'll take out the main fuse from behind the side panel here on the left hand side, and then I'll strip down the bars from what I can now anyway, as far as like cup holder, action camera, phone, cell phone holder, mirrors, and so forth like that. Because they got an alarm, I gotta turn the bike on, or alarm siren. Turn the bike on, then turn it off, and then pull the fuse. And that's to prevent the siren from going off. Now it's time to remove the instrument gauge. That's a screw here on this side. There's one here on the other side. Then I'll get this loose, and then this whole thing I should be able to lift off. So there were 3 clips, one here, and one here. Disconnect all 3 of those, and we're good money. All right, now since I did my bars before, yours may look a little different, but you just pretty much got to just try to find out where the wires are coming out of the handlebars. So this is one, I believe this is the throttle bar wire. So as you probably can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but like, see how this is loose? And there's 3 more that's in here that's loose. And that's because, like I said, I did my bars before. In order to use your factory wires with higher bars, let's say, for example, this is the 10, and then I'll be replacing it with a 12-inch, you got to loosen the wires from like these clamp plates. I'm not sure what they're called, but these wires right here are usually fastened to a thing like this holder. So if you just loosen them, and see how much more play I got now, that's usually how it works. So I just got to disconnect these wires from the left side and the right side that come out of the center of the handlebar. Then this is my chop tree clamp. I just loosen these 4 bolts, and the bar should be removed, no problem. All right, now that I got the bars off, this is gonna be my bar clamp. I'm gonna put the top of the clamp back on for right now. And the reason why is because I need to remove the bushings. See if I can get a shot right there. The old bushings from there and on the other side. And the only way to get it is from underneath the bike. And unfortunately, I gotta remove the side covers for the fairings. The fairing side covers gotta get removed on both sides in order for me to get to the bushings. Now with the fairing spoiler removed, you should be able to see the bushing a lot better now. Right there, like I said, there's one on the other side as well. There's one, then there's one on the other side also. Alright, and once we got the bottom bolts out, the reason why we put the top clamp back on, and I only put 2 screws in it, this is stop from spinning when we're working on trying to get those bolts out. So once they're out, we come back to the top, and then let's take the caps off these top bushings here, take them off to the side, see if we can pull it up. And these bushings are made of 2 parts. You got the top part and the lower part. They're both the same. But the OEM bushings are rubber. As you can see, they're rubber. I'll do a comparison to the new polyurethane once I get these out. Changing out the bushings when you change your bars, especially when you're going a little bit higher. I'm going from a 10, stock is 8. So I went from an 8 to a 10 back when I first got the bike. So the bushings were pretty much still fairly new. But now since I'm going from a 10 to a 12, 2 inches higher, so it's actually a total of 4 from the stock. Since I had the bike back in 21, so it's time to change out the bushings. Now just use a hammer just to knock the bottoms out. Let's turn the wheel, make sure it gets enough clearance. Now just use a screwdriver and a hammer just to knock it out from the bottom. And then it'll fall straight out. That's 1. And that's 2. So this is a little comparison of what the stock OEM bushings look like. These are rubber. It's 2 parts that are stuck together. Yeah. So these are the rubber ones, OEM, and this is a shot of the polyurethane. It's a 2-part. One goes on the top, one goes on the bottom. They come together with a new bolt provided with Loctite already on it. Here's a side by side. Big difference. Polyurethane, OEM rubber. Big difference. Increases the stiffness. Now, from what I've learned from doing several bars already, if you separate these, you stick the rubber down inside first. And the reason being, if you take this little cap out, it has this little metal thing here. It stops it from collapsing. So when you take it apart, it's a little bit more flexible to get it inside the opening. Push it all the way down like that. And once it's all the way in, now you can take your cap, then you can stick it through. No problem. Give it a little tap. separate them. Push the rubber in, well actually polyurethane. Push in the polyurethane bushing and then put your cap on. Alright. You just do the same for underneath. Alright, I finally got those bushings in. Got my bar clamp taken apart again. Let's get to the bars. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the switch housings on the left and the right side along with the grips. Alright, here's a little example or comparison of the two types of bars. This is the Harley fused Lo handlebar for the Road Glides. As you can see, nice open space here in the front. It's a good bar. And then you got the Hoopteeze 12-inch rise bars from Vindikta. This has a nice opening as well for your gauges. So should look nice on the bike. Alright, now here comes the messy part. I gotta run the wires through these bars. Basically I'll be using this it's like lube for wire pulling. Some string, pull string, some tape, and a little pick. Take two, the old-fashioned way, 20. Alright, next I'm going to start putting on my grips, my heated grips, and my switch housings. So, since the bars are off the bike and all the wires are out, if you're going to put heated grips on your bike, now is the best time to do it because all the wires are out. It's very easy to do with everything out and it's off the bike. So again, if you're going to get heated grips, consider it if your bars are already off the bike. It's less hassle, it saves you time, and it saves you money in the long end. I'm going to try to get this one through first because it got a little knot, a big clump there. If they go through at the same time, they may not make that bend. So you try to get your big pieces through at separate times. It seems like once it clears this bend right here, everything is pretty much easy. You want to pull, you want to feed and pull, and go back and forth. I left myself some slack with this wire, just in case if I got to wiggle this one around to get this one to pass by. And then once everything starts flowing through, then I can start pulling the wires completely through. This is my heated grip wiring, and this is my left hand switch wiring. Look how much wire I got left. It's crazy, right? Back in the day, you used to have to extend all the wires, but now they give you plenty of wire to do any mods. I'm gonna push it on all the way, make sure it's on all the way. Now from the right side, same principles, same theory. Separate your string so you know which string belongs where. Alright, got them all on, wires all pulled through. Just going to clean the bars up a little bit, get some of this greasy stuff off, wipe off the wires and cut the string off. Alright, now that I got my bars all cleaned up, tape, string all removed, wipe the bars down, make them look a little better to handle, get all the fingerprints off. There's a little notch on the bottom plate that fits right in the cutout of the handlebar. Here we go. Make sure everything's straight. Put my top clamp on. And what I'll do is I'll just put 2 screws in for now, just so I can tighten it down. Make sure everything is even on both sides. I don't want to tighten it too much, but tighten it enough so that I could move it back and forth for my adjustment. Adjustment here, any adjustments I might want. My reach, see if my reach is okay. Arms feel good. Don't want to be leaning back too far. Also don't want to be too close to the bars. This feels good here. All right. I got all the angle that I want, which is pretty good. Next thing I'll do is I'll just connect all my wires on the inside, do a little bit of wire management, put the other 2 bolts on for the top clamp. I already got blue Loctite on these 2 bolts, so like I said, I put blue Loctite on the other 2 as well. I'll put them in, tighten them down to 20 foot-pounds, and put on my clutch and my brake. Try to button this up a little bit, and then we'll be all set. All right, she's all buttoned up now. Got those 12-inch Hoopteeze on there by Vindikta. Looks nice. I like the gap here in between, so I can still see my speedometer intact, and I can also see full view of my radio as well. And I still got operation of my nacelle, my lock and unlock buttons. How she looks from the side. You can see the forks and the angle of the bars match up pretty nicely. From the front, the bars aren't too high. You see more of the mirrors as opposed to the bars. We'll see how it feels once I take a ride on it. This is another shot of it, another angle. All right, let's go for a ride. Nice little cold start. Well, to start off, first fill. No, I don't need no gas right now. I'll get that later. First fill. Oh, the bars feel good. My arms are nice and nice length. Got a little bend to it. It's not locked out. I got full lock on both sides. Trying to illustrate my view on the camera as best as possible. Like I said, I can see the full view of my speedometer intact. I can also see the full view of my touchscreen radio. I can also see my fuel and my voltage meters as well. So far so good as far as the view. Let's see how it feels on the ride. Feels good. Go straight. Feels good. The handling, I can tell the handling is it feels a lot better. It feels like I got more control of the bike. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it better than the feeling I had with the fused bars from Harley. There was nothing wrong with those bars. I just wanted something different. So this is my different, and the bars feel good. Go this way. Just got to get used to the handle. It's like almost riding a different bike, only because the handlebar setup is different. Don't want to take it too wild so far. Want to stay nice and controlled until I get used to it. It's only my first ride on with the new bar setup anyway. Never been back here before. I can reach my clutch and my brake levers without any problems. The adjustment actually on these bars are pretty good because I can actually turn my housings up a little farther, so I can actually read all the buttons on the housings on the left and the right. Yeah, the ride feels totally different. Totally different from the bar setup I had the first time. So one of the reasons, or the main reason why I went with these Hoopteeze instead of like a Kraus or Thrashing Supply, it's only because I like my nacelle here. I like the lock and unlock buttons. You know, some people might say, well, you know, that's not really a good enough reason. Well, it's a good enough reason for me. I like it. I like to use them. I use the buttons. I plan on adding additional lights so I can use the buttons on the side here for on and off as well. And I really didn't feel like cutting into the nacelle. if I didn't have to. I mean, you can get a T-bar set up if you cut into the inner cell, and necessarily I didn't want to right now anyway. Not right now anyway. These bars feel good, and I still got the stock look. Yeah, so this is my first initial thoughts and feel for the new bar setup. Yep. Not too close. It's not too far also. And at first look at the bars, even though they're 12 inches, it didn't look like they were 12 inches. I don't feel the 12 inches right now until I actually sitting on the bike with them on the bike, because I can feel the difference in my hand height from the 10 to these 12s. So at first look, it didn't look like they were going to be tall enough, but they feel good. And the wiring, oh my goodness, the wiring, these bars actually give you more wiring to play with once you're hooking them up to the bike, as opposed to the previous bars I had on the bike. So, adjust my mirrors. So, like I said, this is my first initial thoughts and impressions on the feel and the look that I have. So, looks like it got an error code there. I'll check what that is. Something to just clear off. Barking. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the bars for now. I am very pleased with the purchase and the install. All done by me. All right, we're going to check that error code that was thrown on the bike while I was riding. So to check that, what you do is your odometer switch, you hold it down, turn the bike on, then diagnostic word will pop up. So then you hit the odometer button again. You see yes, that means there's a code there. So what you do is you hold the odometer button down, and it should show you what your code is. So that's the code that was thrown, P1608H. So I looked that up, and it says low battery voltage detected. So with that being said, I'm going to chalk that one up as saying when I pulled the fuse, 50 amp fuse, when I pulled that to do the entire install in the bar setup, I'm going to chalk it up to say that's why that code was thrown. So now that we know what that code is, I'm gonna clear it. And the way you clear it is hold your odometer button down. So it's clear. Let it go. It's just clear. You hit the odometer. Boop. Now it says ECM no. So I'm good now. And the way to check, see if you have any other errors, click your odometer button, BCM no, speedometer no, ABS no, radio no, and I'm back to diagnostic again. And then it's turning everything off, you just turn your power button off on your bike. All right, well that's gonna do it for today. I did the install, did my impressions, and I did my initial ride. And everything was great. The install went well. A couple things gave me a hang up. The lower bushings, that was a little bit of work to get to. Taking them out, actually taking them out wasn't that bad, you just knock them out. But to put them in there and bolt it down, yeah, that took a little time. Also, the left hand switch housing on the bar, that took me a little bit as far as running the wires. The right side went through with no problem. Other than that, it took me a couple of days. I don't know if you can tell by the video, but yeah, it took me a couple of days only because, you know, I'm a family man. I got soccer, you know what I'm saying? So, and I got work. So I don't have a whole day where, or at least not these last couple of days, where I can just flow through the install. So, but the install overall, you can do it yourself. A nice weekend project with the tools, patience, a little bit of common sense, and your user manual, your service manual for your particular model bike. I highly recommend getting that. All my torques and specs I got from that manual, torquing everything down on the bike that I took off. Other than that, it's a good reference book that you can use for anything that's on your bike. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.